on LinkedIn that really gripped me, Chrysanos, because you started talking about the changes that were all over Google Next. But the one that is the most amazing is that Google has decided to really jump into this voice space, maybe to give Microsoft a run for it. But you know how Google has a tendency to wreck really good business models and make things free. So, oh my gosh, are we headed in that direction? And then in addition to that, just some of the cool technology that Google has that is far and above the best when it comes to integration with the GCP, the Google Cloud Platform, now known as Anthos. So I'm excited to hear you talk a little bit about that and just see where it's going.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, and first off, thank you guys and congrats on everything that you guys are doing. I think it's really beneficial for the industry, obviously communications. And I think, Mike, I think when we first met, you know, it's like the industry 5 years ago when we first saw it, like, you know, hosted voice and everybody was just selling the hosted voice. Now, like, the industry's completely morphed. It's like changed, you know, and now we're going in a whole different direction, you know, and it's exciting to see. And you guys are legends in this space. So everybody knows you and everybody knows that hat, Dave. So it's,
yeah, I walk around without a hat. Nobody knows who I am. It's part of my body, I think.
I know. Where's the hat? Just look for the hat. Just look for the hat. So going back to, and again, I would love for you guys to tell me this and argue with me because you guys are, you know, going to be on the opposite side. But like when I see Google Voice, what I see is a product in its infancy, right? And, you know, the UC industry as a whole, it's very mature, right? Very well established, all the players, you name it, 8x8, Ring, Vonage, you know, everybody. So everybody's there, right? And very well established, very well entrenched, and you can tell everybody's going up market, right? So all these providers, they're all going up market, trying to, you know, move away from these commodity replacements like Grasshopper, you know, things like what GoDaddy's doing, you know, these little, you know, one-offs. And what I see with Google, what Google did that is probably better than, you guys know this better than anybody, is that the provisioning process and the setup process is the killer, right? That's where people just, it's like Dane Bramage, you know, they just, you know, it's just painful. And I think what Google Voice did, and again, it's very infant, right? So you're going to have a lot of these large customers. They have so many complexities and all. Google Voice is not this. Where I see Google Voice going to play, especially for at least the next 12 to 18 months. And I'm not to say that they're not going to have some big wins, right? But the micro SMB, you know, anything below 20, I think they're going to kill it. I think they're going to maybe even lessen, right?
Well, let me ask you this though: that Google Voice has been doing that for years. Nothing really new about that.
But it wasn't productized like it is now. Like now it's part of a business suite. Like it's part of that G Suite for Business license, right? And what's really exciting about that is now these G Suite partners, and Dave, you know this better than anybody. Those G Suite partners can't sell voice to save their life. Like all they know how to do is sell G Suite, and voice is complex. Right? Especially as you start going up that market, you start running into network issues, QoS issues. You start running into, you know, just all these complexities that, you know, Google Voice, that team doesn't have the skill sets to deal with those types of issues. Like they're looking for, hey, I'm going to give you a number. Here's a mobile. And the best part, like I was about to say, the best thing that Google did is they did that provisioning piece. Like you can provision 500 users with the DID and auto provision right from within that G Suite admin panel, like with the quickness.
Yeah, and you were telling me that the porting process is so smooth. It's like porting in the cellular world. And that's the thing that just killed us back when I was running Simple Signal. It was the ports that never went right. And they took forever, weeks to line up. So now you have to
coordinate all that. And again, I see where it's at. It's in the panel, and you can provision, right? Now, what actually is happening on the back end is a mystery, right? But it looks simple from a provisioning, right? Somebody's AT&T, CenturyLink, somebody's still getting that request. And that process is not. There's no way they can automate that process, you know. So they still got to wait for them to release those numbers. And again, you guys know better than anybody, like what happens. And you need somebody coordinating those efforts, right? Because nobody wants to change over their phone number and then all of a sudden their existing phone system doesn't work. I mean, it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.